Hi guys, we're back with part 2 of our experiment. What would happen if Real Madrid swapped Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, and Karim Benzema with Paulo Dybala, Harry Kane, and Mohamed Salah? What I did in the first part, you can check in my channel. Make sure to watch the video to understand what happened in the first 3.5 seasons after we started the experiment in the 8th of January 2018 in the Football Manager 2018 game. Afterwards, what I did, I fast forwarded 3 more seasons. As you can see, the date in the game is 20th of May 2024, which means that 3 more years have passed. And now we are going to check out what was the impact of those transfers in the long term. Just a disclaimer before I continue, I also did transfer Felipe Coutinho to Barcelona in the beginning, but I did not transfer Virgil van Dijk, who was bought later on by Real Madrid, and that kind of changed things a bit, but I think it's still interesting to see how things evolved from there. So now that after all is said and done, let's have a look at how things evolved. So the last season, and this is season number 4, year 2021, Barcelona were champions after 3 years of dominance of Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid did not manage to get even one title in that period. So let's see what happened 2022. Another title for Atletico, and we see they all only won the title 1 point ahead of Barcelona and 3 points ahead of Real Madrid. So this was an incredible season, most probably quite competitive. Very interesting to see how the players have performed in the end, but we'll get to that in a second. One season further, 2023, Real Madrid are now champions, 1 point clear both Barcelona and Atletico. So this is the first title for Madrid for the Los Blancos since we started this experiment. And now let's also see the final year of our experiment. Another title for Real Madrid, this time with a bigger difference, 4 points, which is still not a lot, but quite significant comparing to the previous 2 seasons. So after we saw that, now let's have a quick look at the Real Madrid transfers and how our 3 players have performed so far. All right. In the last season of the part 1 video, Alban Lafont was the biggest transfer. Then let's see what happened 2022. Daniele Rugani was bought from Chelsea for a staggering 86 million pound sum. So this is a very large sum for a defender, I must say. But apparently he's worth it. As from what I can tell, he has an average rating of 7.42 in La Liga, which is awesome. He has 4 Player of the Match awards in the Spanish Championship, so that's a good sign. Felix Passlack was also bought. Julen Borja, Slavko Šuker. Maybe this is the son? No, this is a regen. I thought that this may be the son of Davor Šuker, the legendary Croatian striker from the 90s. Andre Gomes has been bought by Real Madrid. So this person has traveled, as you can see, from Barcelona to Hoffenheim, then to Liverpool, and has been bought by Real Madrid in 21-22 season. More importantly, though, now let's focus on the outgoing section. We see Harry Kane. If you remember from part 1, if you saw the video, Harry Kane was wanted by Manchester City in the end of the 4th season, and they bought him indeed for 96 million pounds. This is significantly lower than the amount that Real Madrid paid for him. So it's quite interesting to see that Harry Kane's price has fallen significantly, but I'm not sure what this is really telling us, and we'll have a look in a second. Other big transfers for that year, you can see Marco Asensio also traveled to Manchester along Harry Kane for a modest sum of 55 million pounds. Bruma was bought by Bayern Munich. Lucas Zidane, this is one of Zizou's children. He was sold for a very small sum, less than £1 million, so not a very good player apparently. And Theo Hernandez was sold to Spartak Moscow. All right, now let's check in the next season what happened. In the incoming, Andre Silva was bought from Bayern Munich, and Ramadan Sobhi was bought from Stoke. So Ramadan Sobhi indeed has developed into a wonderful player. I am actually watching this player in reality, and I also have a feeling that he is going to become quite something. Apparently, he did in the game, and he managed to reach one of the highest pinnacles in football, which is Real Madrid. They also got Christian Benteke on a free, and in the meantime, I can see that he's now playing for Villarreal, so he was already sold. On the other side, we see Presnel Kimpembe, who Real bought from PSG, has been sold to Manchester City. As you can probably tell, there are quite a lot of transfers on in the direction Real Madrid, Manchester City. That shouldn't surprise you. Manchester City are one of the teams with the biggest spending power, so that's perfectly possible. You can see that the other way around also works. The final year, Matthijs de Ligt from Manchester City. So this is a player that in reality plays for Ajax. Apparently, he has been bought by Manchester City. You can see for 20 million, and then they made double profit from him, selling him to Real Madrid for $44.5 million, along with Raheem Sterling for £74 million. So this is a staggering sum. Actually, not so staggering, but combined with the sum for Matthijs de Ligt, this is more than £120 million. In the other section, we see Dani Carvajal has joined Monaco for 39 million. Lucas Moura has been sold to Hertha Berlin, and there aren't a lot of other interesting transfers. So now let's have a quick look at how did everybody performed from our trio that we started the game with. Paulo Dybala is still at Real. He has a very high evaluation at 75 million pounds, which means that probably he is the star player of the team. Let's have a look quickly. Yes, he is. He's also the captain. James Rodriguez is vice captain. So James has been bought back. So he was on loan at Bayern Munich for 2 years, and then he went back to Madrid. As you can see, he has quite high average rating. No wonder that they decided to take him back. Let's go back and look at Paulo Dybala once again. As you can see, the average rating for him is astonishing. He's almost reaching 8.0 average rating in every season. This is phenomenal statistics, so good on him. He's truly managed to impress in Madrid. Let's see if he won any interesting awards while he was there. So, Supporters Player of the Year, that's not really saying much. Let's see if there is something else. He was named in the Champions Cup. This is the Champions League. So he was also the best player of the Club World Championship, which means that Real Madrid won the Champions League. But let's not give away too much spoilers, and we'll get to the European competitions in a second. Before we do that, let's also check what happened with Harry Kane before he was sold to Manchester City. If we go to the stats, we can see that he performs much better in England than he did in Spain. So there is no doubt why he made the transfer. As you can see, the average rating and his goals return is much higher in England with Manchester City than it was with Real Madrid. And finally, Mohamed Salah. He is still at Real Madrid, valued at 41 million, so his valuation went down a bit, which means that he is not performing as well as he did in the past. Although you can tell that season 22-23 was his best with 7.59 average rating, quite good return. But in the next season, he did not play that well, which is not surprising considering the caliber of players being bought by Madrid. Let's also quickly check what happened with Eden Hazard, who they also bought in the game. He's now 33 years old, which means that of course his stats are diminishing and he is not playing as well as he did, but his average rating is very, very high, and that's probably the reason Mohamed Salah is not performing that well. Probably Eden Hazard is now the starter there. Let's have a quick look at their team. As you can see, Slavko Šuker is the left fullback for the team. This is quite interesting. So a very interesting team they have compiled, and Eden Hazard is playing in the middle of the pitch. This is very, very surprising to me. I did not expect this to happen at all. Now, while we are here, and this is something that I forgot to do in part one, apologies for that. Hopefully, if you were wondering about that, now this is going to satisfy your curiosity. How did Felipe Coutinho manage to play for Barcelona after the transfer? What we see here is that he started well, then he had, considering respect, I would say a poor season for his standards, but then he switched to a higher gear, and the last 3 seasons he's playing very, very well for Barcelona, scoring, assisting, and basically being one of their star players. Now I have switched my attention to the European competitions, and first on our focus is going to be the Europa League. So let's check what happened the season after Tottenham won that competition on penalties against Valencia in the final. In the next year, you can see Liverpool won against the same team, Valencia 3-2 in the final. Liverpool also eliminated Olympique Marseille, Leverkusen, and Inter on their way to the title. Season 23, Porto won that title against Kyon in the final. Porto eliminated Tottenham. Then before that, Hoffenheim and also Olympiacos in the second knockout round. Let's see what happened in the final season. Inter won on penalties against French Olympique Lyon. Inter qualified to the final, defeating Tottenham, defeating also Marseille and Dynamo Kiev on their way to claim the Europa League at Estádio da Luz in Lisbon. Moving one tier up to the Champions League. Last time we left off, Manchester United were crowned European champions after defeating Monaco in the final, and then in the next season, Real Madrid reclaimed the trophy, which some consider their own. They won in extra time against Chelsea 2-1, and they qualified for that match by defeating PSG in the semis, Juventus in the quarterfinal, and Manchester United, the reigning champions, in the first knockout round. So this is truly an astonishing run and a lot of hard, difficult games along the way. Then in the next season, Barcelona won Champions League, defeating PSG in the final 2-1. Barcelona smashed Real Madrid in the semis 5-0 on aggregate, and they also defeated Liverpool on away goals in the quarterfinals and Bayern Munich in the first knockout round. And in the very last season of the Champions League in year 2024, PSG are now the champions of Europe by beating French compatriots Monaco 2-0 in the final. PSG defeated Manchester United in the semis, Zenit from Russia, Zenit St. Petersburg 4-0 on aggregate, and Manchester City 7-1. Apparently PSG have an astonishing team here, so maybe we can have a quick look at what are they doing. And they must be doing something right, apparently. So let's see. Captain, key player, Anthony Martial. They have bought Anthony Martial. Well, this explains things a lot. You can see 7.96, 7.87, 7.76. He's truly a remarkable player for PSG. Let's see if we can see their tactics. Belotti, Isco, and Bernardeschi. Neymar is playing in the middle of the field. This is very odd for me. I cannot believe that Neymar has been pre-qualified to converted to play as a midfielder. It's very odd to me. And Lewis Cook is a Chelsea. I'm sorry, a Leeds youth player. You can see he played for Bournemouth, then was bought by Liverpool in season 21-22 before a staggering transfer for 83 million pounds to PSG. So PSG are truly creating here a wonderful team. Nelson Semedo from Barcelona, Diego Molina, I'm not aware of this player. Okay, so this is a regen, a Colombian. Where did he start? In Colombia, apparently, then bought by Benfica and subsequently by PSG. Alessio Romagnoli is a true player from Italy. Roberto Carlos, I imagine this is a regen. Indeed, it is Roberto Carlos. Very interesting coincidence, I guess. Let me just have a quick look if he is truly not related to Roberto Carlos Sr. in any way. I don't think he is, and it doesn't make any sense to be. That's a very odd coincidence that Roberto Carlos, a regen in the game, is playing as a left fullback, exactly in the same position as the real Roberto Carlos used to play for Real Madrid and the Brazil international national team. What is also very interesting is that Dele Alli is in the reserves of PSG, which means that they bought him from Tottenham, and we can see here for 85 million pounds. Just a year ago, Dele Alli became a player of Paris Saint-Germain. Before we go and see the individual awards that happened in the last 3 years, I just want to quickly have a look at Manchester United and their team. Okay, so just at a glance, what we can see is that they kept a lot of their team. You can see Lukaku, Mkhitaryan is here, Bailey, Lindelof, Fosu-Mensah, and De Gea are all still in the team. They got Ben Chilwell apparently from Leicester, Lorenzo Insigne, So a lot of famous players are here. Cristiano Ronaldo is still playing. We can see that he's 39 years old, but his stats are still very, very high. This is remarkable. Truly, very impressive professional Cristiano Ronaldo. Determination 20. This is quite impressive. Natural fitness 19. So that's why his stats are really not falling down, even though he is 39 years old. What I want to do next is just quickly to check what happened with Benzema and Bale as well. So Benzema is now a manager. So Benzema retired. Let me see, when did he retire? That would be very interesting to know. So he played until 2022 at least. Released on a free transfer. 2022 indeed, he retired as a player and became a manager, but nobody has taken the plunge to hire him, I think. No, no, indeed, he did not manage any teams. And also, what happened with Gareth Bale? He's still playing at 34. His stats are also very impressive, regardless of his age. Determination and natural fitness are high as well, but not as high as Ronaldo. So it makes sense that he's not performing as good as CR7. So what we can see is that still he's getting above 7 average rating in all of his seasons since he is back in top. And finally, let's have a look at the Ballon d'Or awards. We can see that Bernardo Silva from Manchester City won the latest one. Before that, Neymar and Thomas Lemar claimed 2. Also, we can see that Dybala has been second this year. Let's just have a quick look. Eden Hazard was third in the year before. Then nobody from Real, nobody from Real. Real did not really manage to get a lot of accolades and awards in this 7 season test that we made, but that's it. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Let me know if you want me to make a similar experiment with Real Madrid again. Otherwise, don't forget to like this video, and if you want to receive notifications of when my videos are being uploaded, don't forget to subscribe. Until the next time, bye.